Welcome to Everyday Life. Thank you for joining our podcast, Conversations Over Coffee. I'm your host. My name is Jen, or if you know me from the gaming community, my name is Jaylyn.
And I'm Dagda.
We're just a couple of smart-ass Gen Xers who conversate about everything from assholes and adulting to, I don't know, zombies and zero fucks.
You're supposed to say from comics to the coming apocalypse.
Oh, that's right. Here's the point where I give you the explicit content warning because we have mature language and sometimes mature conversations, i.e. we cuss a lot. So you've been officially warned.
I'm an angel. I never fucking cuss.
Oh, okay. All right. So now that that's all done, how about you grab your drink and we'll get after it. You want to go?
Sure.
Let's go.
You know who made it.
Hi, guys. Before we start today's episode, I wanted to give an acknowledgement. I want to make sure you guys all are aware that it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So whatever you do, get your inspections done. For those of you who have fought and lost, thank you for trying your best. We're sorry you're gone. For those of you who are fighting, keep your hope up. Keep fighting. The fight's not over until it's over. And for those of you who have fought and won, we love you. We celebrate you. Congratulations, Miss Michelle. Congratulations, Miss Susan. Big hugs out to you all. So anyways, I hope you enjoy today's episode as we roll into October. This is WarhammerD DRifts. No. Okay, so we're going to hop right back into what we were talking about. Okay, so the D&D world. You were explaining the dice and all of that fun stuff, and I get how to do it now, but people didn't see all the dice you had in your bag.
Yeah.
I mean, how many pairs of dice? How many die? Because I guess they're singular, correct?
Yeah, die is singular. Dice
How many?
is plural.
Right. Well, how many dies do you have?
Several hundred.
And that's how many. Okay, so depending on what game you're playing, that's going to dictate how many actual dies you need, correct?
Yes. Also, the different types of dice that you need.
Right, because
like I said previously, when you're playing Warhammer Fantasy miniature combat game,
right,
and Warhammer 40K and other iterations of the same game,
right,
you only use D6. So
right.
6-sided dice.
Right. But didn't you mention to me the other day that it also depends on what you're running, like Necromancer, Mage, or like whatever? I'm guessing that's kind of what you meant.
So that's in different games. So in the Warhammer Fantasy role-playing game,
right,
and the 40K role-playing games, those are set up so that you only roll one type of dice.
Okay.
So in the Warhammer Fantasy role-play game and most of the 40K role-playing games, you roll the D100s like I was doing before.
Right.
Because that's the way it's set up. Now, if you're playing Dungeons and Dragons and most of its children, let's say, other games that are based almost directly off of Dungeons and Dragons, like Pathfinder,
right?
Technically, it's not directly based off that anymore, but that's because they specifically went and erased all the stuff that pointed to their lineage, basically.
Right. And then who went through and did a whole bunch of rule changes recently? You were talking about it, and I can't remember if that was D&D, Pathfinder, Warhammer 40K, 40K Fantasy, Relic, Wraith, Rift. I can't remember which one you'd said had went through and they literally changed their entire, like, how you make your characters and all that kind of stuff. Who did that?
That would probably have been Pathfinder.
Okay. Because you were mad.
Yeah, it's because they fucking... He
was so mad.
Yeah. I wasn't mad at them, per se. I was just mad at the situation. So... back a couple of years ago,
right?
WotC, Wizards of the Coast, who owns Dungeons and Dragons currently,
right?
They, for many years, since about 2000, they've had this thing called the Open Game License.
Right.
And the open game license allowed other companies
Mm-hmm.
to utilize the rule system of Dungeons and Dragons, even though technically you don't need permission because you can't patent or trademark or copyright a rule system.
Yeah.
That's another story. So they had created this open game license that gave everybody permission to utilize their game system.
Okay.
They also would allow you to utilize certain potentially trademarkable and copyrightable content. So, for instance, certain character types, certain classes, certain species or races, certain villains, enemies, monsters,
Right.
that they could potentially copyright or trademark. They allowed anybody who agreed to the open game license that they could fucking use it.
Right.
And the original iteration of the OGL, the open game license, it said that it was permanent, that in perpetuity, you could forever use this license to create your own games and your own settings. Now, one of the sort of caveats to that was that if you were creating your own setting, or let's say,
Right.
so let's say you're just using regular D&D rules, but you have created your own world and you want to market that world.
Yeah.
It would require...
And you totally should name yours Cornelius Constantine, just saying.
Any fucking way.
No, seriously, think about that. Constantine's a fucking awesome character.
Yeah.
And, Cornelius is like the best ringer ever.
Wow. Anyway,
You're welcome.
I actually know a dude named Cornelius, and he's not a ringer. Anyway.
Well, that's kind of sad. I'm sorry, Mr. Cornelius, Dagda's friend. Anyways. No squirrel today.
Your game would require the purchase of the core game book from WotC, the
like,
Dungeons
if you're going to
and
be using their rule sets.
Yeah, the Dungeons and Dragons fucking core book would be required in order to play your game.
But what if you take that core book and you go through it and you go, here's the caveat on this rule and that rule. Like you completely. So do you then still need that core book, or are you then creating a new rule set in which you create your own book?
So you would still require the original book. You would just have stuff in there like these are the alterations to the rules.
But then what if just let's say what if and I'm serious, like what if, because I know that you've experimented with writing up your own synopsis and everything like that. So what if you take every rule they have and do the exact opposite? Do you then write your own book to it? Then
you wouldn't need to even be bothering with their shit because you would have
other than just going, I want to do the exact opposite. So if one is now the super phenomenal option answer on a D6 roll instead of 6.
Yeah. I mean, you could do that.
Yeah, I just didn't know if you would then, just because you're being influenced by, if you would then need to. No. I'm really not being a smartass. I'm actually being very inquisitive. Thank you guys so much.
No, as long as you don't do anything that is like, okay, well, we have this thing called a satyr. Actually, that's a bad example because those are not copyrightable or trademarkable. What is illithid? So if you had a fucking creature called an illithid, well, the illithid is a actual fucking unique thing that was created by Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay.
Most of the monsters in Dungeons and Dragons are pre-existing monsters. In other words, they're monsters from folklore, so on and so forth.
Children's stories that are some of them like orcs, dwarves,
and mythology.
Yeah, I mean, like some of those things go back hundreds of years.
Yes, if not thousands.
Yeah, fays and fairies and all that.
Yeah, so all of that stuff, provided it doesn't have a unique name that they came up with it, like Warhammer is super big on this right now, where they have elves in Warhammer and in Warhammer 40K. They're not called elves though. I don't remember what they're called I don't remember their new names.
Okay.
But basically recently, about 10 years ago or so, they started renaming all of their stuff
Right.
to give it a unique name that they could trademark.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you went through and did that, or if you went through and just had creature types that are really old, like zombies and vampires and shit like that,
Right.
then you don't have to worry about their shit because it's all stuff that is older than them, and so they can't claim it as their own. Unless you went through and specifically did stuff like, okay, we have liches. Well, liches are super old, but there's these fucking special type of lich in Faerun, which is one of the Dungeons and Dragons settings. If you made red wizards of Thay and just called them something else, but it was obvious that they were red wizards of Thay,
then you're in a copyright violation.
Yes. So anyway, going back to the open game license. So they, for nearly 20 years, they had that in effect. They changed it a couple of times when they changed versions. So when they created it, it was 3rd edition of Dungeons and Dragons. They updated it a little bit when they came out with 3.5. They changed it significantly when they made 4th edition D&D, which some people think is an unholy abomination. I actually really liked 4th edition of D&D, except for the fact that it was called D&D. It should have been something else.
Yeah.
It would be great. That would be a fantastic like superhero game using that rule set. And even if you were, because they tried to emulate the way massively multiplayer online games, role-playing games worked. And they actually did a pretty decent job. There were some wonky things with the rule system, but there's always going to be that. Anyway, so then when 5th edition came out, they changed it again, but it was still kind of the same thing. You can use our stuff. You just give us credit. And when you set it up, you don't straight up reproduce our core rule book.
Right.
Instead, you create a setting book and then you use our core rule book.
So the idea is that they're making money by people buying their core rule book, and then the other company or individual is making money by selling the set books.
Yeah. The setting books.
Yeah.
And when they did this, it was amazing. The industry had actually gone down quite a bit from what it had been.
Yeah.
Because of, I don't remember exactly what was going on. For one thing, Dungeons and Dragons almost disappeared because TSR, the company that owned it at the time, went under.
Right.
And then Wizards of the Coast, the people who make Magic the Gathering and Pokemon, I do believe. I think they make that too. Anyway, they bought the rights to the game.
Right.
And then they produced 3rd edition. And anyway, when they created the OGL, it actually caused the industry, the gaming industry, to flourish because a whole bunch of little companies started popping up, even like single person companies that were producing games and fucking like supplemental stuff, like adventures and stuff. Started popping up all over the place. So it went from a industry where there was maybe a couple of dozen companies to literally hundreds of companies within a couple of years.
I do remember in the past that you had mentioned, like, brought this up about all these companies popping up that were doing all these independent games and everything. And I remember you told me one. And I remember thinking, and this tells you what a poor bitch I am. I remember thinking, oh, there's a few of us here at the shop who should go. There was no financial way to do it without sticking out a credit card, because just the base game and like one set of something was like $500. And I don't remember what it was. It was just something that caught my eye. It was probably something a little supernatural, but it was a limited edition thing, only 100 of them. And I was just like, I'm like, dude, I love Bubba, but like, I don't even have $500 fucking to my name after I pay bills every week. What the fuck? Yeah. Anyways, I really am trying to rack my brain really hard, because it's within the last year you told me about like some setting, like the character building setting or something had changed because it was like green or gold and they took something away and added something, and it really pissed you off because you had just made this character that you thought was super fucking armor with like this built-in armor. And like, I know I'm saying it wrong, but you were talking about like his like all these different pieces that he was to him, these different character you created, and then you were going to create another one. But whatever changed in this rule character building system, they took away this one class.
Yeah. So that's probably still the same thing.
I mean, maybe it was Pathfinder.
Yeah. So
all I know is you were mad. You were so mad.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I just got my character right where I wanted him. And as a matter of fact, I built 3 other characters around that. Such bullshit. Anyways, sorry.
Yeah, so
Screw up.
So when 4th edition came out, it was such a huge departure because it was massively different from what the other versions of D&D. You could see a steady progression in the way the rules worked.
Okay.
4th edition was a massive departure from 3rd edition and the editions before. It was completely different. Well, there were certain things that were the same. You still used the same type of dice, blah, blah, blah. It still had mostly the same classes, the same races, all that. But the mechanics of the way the game worked was significantly different. It was a huge departure. And a bunch of people were unhappy. Like the majority of people were probably unhappy. And so there was a separate company called Paizo, who is a local company here, by the way. So is WotC, but they were local also. And they had produced the Dungeon magazine and Dragon magazine. Dungeons and Dragons magazines.
Got it. Yeah.
And at some point, they basically stopped producing the magazines. I don't remember if they did that before they created Pathfinder or after, but basically they were in the process of because magazines are kind of a dying thing.
Yeah, I mean, they're heavy.
Yeah.
They're very heavy.
Trust me, I know.
I know, right? How many
Picking
hundreds of
fucking
thousands?
boxes of fucking magazines up. Yeah, anyway.
Well, it's they're heavy, they're awkward. You spill something on it, the stain never goes away. Digital format seems to be the thing that people are really sticking with. And for me, that is great. That's fantastic. But there is nothing quite like, for certain things, picking up a good old fashioned real piece of paper.
Yeah.
There's a smell that comes to it. There's nostalgia you get to it. And I don't really know, because what I've noticed in the last 10 years is so many things have been so, digital to save space or money or whatever. And it's just like, kudos to whoever was just like, we should put that in a digital format. Kudos to them for that, but then fucking boo at the same time, because think about all the different small press companies, like small book presses they've put out of business. I know somebody who went to work for who used to work at the lawn care company with me, and he went to go work at a book printing place. That job was obsolete within 10 years.
Yeah.
And it's
first
really
they shipped
sad.
it to China, and then they got away with it altogether.
Well, they started shipping it to China 5 years after he was there, because they laid off half of their workforce, but he was a really good worker. Yeah. And then, I don't know, he'd actually come into the shop. So, and it was really weird because he'd come in several times. And I'm just going to say this. The answer in 2004 was no. The answer in 2010 was no. And the answer would still be no to this day.
So also,
anyways,
one of the things with the people switching from print media to digital media.
Yeah.
One thing that is in the favor of the digital media, as far as the producers of it, is that they can cut out the secondary market.
Yeah.
Like, you buy a book, you get done with the book, you can resell it to somebody else.
Right.
Or you can gift it to somebody else, whatever.
Or you can gift it to your local library.
But you can't do that with your digital media. And so as a result, when you print a book, you're basically creating not just a wage for yourself, you're creating a wage for somebody else who's going to resell that book that you can't sell another copy to.
And okay, the thing with the digital stuff, though, it drives me nuts, is there was this big thing for a couple of years where they were doing digital art.
The NTFs. Or NFTs, rather. I mean, they're always doing digital art, but you're talking about the NFTs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like, we can authenticate it and this, that, and the other. It's just like,
yeah.
I get that, but I'm just like, what the fuck has happened to our world where people don't want to go someplace and see all the fine iterations of art, not creepy shit, but like go and see like
Beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
Psycho. I don't know. It just makes me sad because, you know, I remember being a kid and going to the library like today. So we were at the library today.
Yes.
We were working on your other secondary project. And one of the things I did while we were there, because we didn't take any recording equipment with us, it was literally we took a break from recording, which is like kind of odd for us, but whatever. Anyways. And I walked around that library and there was one teenager in that whole place.
Oh, there wasn't one. I saw somebody playing a video game over in the corner, over in that teens only section.
There was one person over there.
Okay.
And the TV, I didn't see anybody actually playing on it. It just it was auto showing what you could play.
Okay.
You know, he was huddled over in the corner. I'm pretty sure not doing appropriate things with a laptop on his lap looking around. Anyways. So, and I don't even know if he was honestly a teen, to be truthful with you, but there was no teens there. Over in the children's section, there was no
school. School is in session.
Oh,
currently.
maybe. See, I totally forgot. That's right.
School just started here.
It just.
Yeah.
Oh, yay! We can go to the library more. but the thing is that it like totally. But see, the thing is even the pre-K kids. Like every time we've gone before, the pre-K kids there, the little kids, like the 2-year-olds, the 3-year-olds, were sitting there with their moms and their dads and all that. But like there was nobody there today except for. Well, I mean, I don't know. When I went out and did one of my trips out there, I mean, there was a lady on the sidewalk. That's okay. True story. I heard this commotion and I hear a fire truck. Did you hear the fire truck that went by when we were there?
I don't remember. I don't think so.
I left the door open because it was right when I was going to the restroom, I think.
Okay. And
it's like the wee woo goes by, right? You're welcome, Jacob Raid. And and there's a lady, and all I see as I got a little closer is this lady running down the street, and she's just like, wait, I want that ambulance. Wait, I want that ambulance. Wait, I want that ambulance. And I don't know what she said she did, but all the librarians were like, what the fuck is happening? And there was one guy who was sitting over there. There's only like 3 people using computers today.
Okay.
And one guy was just like, and he stands up and he was just like, she gonna fall. I'm just like, what the fuck happened? But there was like, it was odd. Now,
Thomas.
Right. Such a good series. So I went to the restroom, I came out, and then I walked around more of the library. And you know what I really did see more than anything were the homeless sitting there.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I'm not judging because these were definitely the homeless, like they were trying to work. They weren't the ones that we've had around our neighborhood.
Yeah.
So these were the ones that like legitimately lost their jobs or their homes or whatever, because like rental prices are super insane. Home prices are super insane still. Yeah. Still, I mean, I would have people I know that would argue with me that, oh no, prices are low. No, I still can't believe that our friend pays what he pays. Like, it's so crazy. But anyways, yeah. So it made me sad though. It made me sad because it's like, I know, and I see it every day because, you know, we go get coffee, we go around the neighborhood. We've seen that some of these teenagers aren't in school. Yeah. These little fucking
that's always
hooligans.
Hooligans.
Yeah. I don't know, but I was fascinated with the fact. I was actually shocked. I told you there was manga books there. Yeah. Yeah. They were on that cusp of those shouldn't have been in the library.
I mean, there's a lot of them that are just regular.
There comics, are a lot of them there, but they had a couple of them. I was excited when I saw Full Metal Alchemist manga, but
nice. They
didn't have 1, 2, or 3 there. They just had 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 13, 16, and 18, I think. And here's the thing with me. There is a part of me that is an instant gratification person. Because I remember going to the library and there'd be 8 copies of this and 9 copies of that. And like, you know, and it'd be like, oh man. And you only got to check it out for a fucking week at a time. Now it's like you get 3 weeks to check shit out. Yeah. And I'm just like, So that's why I didn't wait, because I was just like,
Well, one of the things I believe what is happening, aside from them getting less and less funding over the years, but one of the things that I believe is happening is that they have like a share system, and they kind of have like a bunch of books centrally housed, and then they ship them out to the different places when they get requested. So they don't necessarily have to keep as many copies of a single item at each library. Instead, they sort of shuffle them around.
Right, and I get that, but okay, here's like this is a fair question. I think
That's what I think is happening.
Yeah, well, but this is a fair question, and maybe people who know about their library systems or whatever, maybe they can leave a comment or whatever, tell me what the fuck's going on. But like, okay, so if the funding is an issue, right? Then can somebody please explain to me why there was between the digital lab and the main functions of the library, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 librarians on duty when there was less than 30 patrons in the entire place.
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I'm not judging, because like, hey, like I wouldn't mind going and working at the library if I didn't have to deal with certain aspects. Like,
You have to have a master's degree.
and don't even get me fucking started on that bullshit.
Yeah.
You have to have a master's degree to scan a barcode. What the fuck is that? Anyways, I'm sorry. D&D. Yes.
So going back to Paizo Publishing.
Paizo Publishing. And these are the ones that are doing Pathfinder, correct?
Yeah, they're the ones who created Pathfinder.
Okay.
So like I said, as a response to seeing the need to continue the original third 3.5 edition of Dungeons and Dragons, they actually created Pathfinder.
Okay.
The
And you
Paizo-
love Pathfinder.
Pathfinder is really cool.
Yeah.
It's super, super popular
Yeah.
because it's 3.5 edition of Dungeons and Dragons, I believe, is the most popular Dungeons and Dragons edition that ever was.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like I said, a lot of people were pissed when they made 4th edition. It was cool, but even I, who really liked it,
Yeah.
it wasn't what I was looking for Dungeons and Dragons. Like I said before, it would make a fantastic superhero game. But anyway, so Paizo came out with Pathfinder.
Mhm.
Well, when they did Pathfinder, they used the 3.5 edition OGL, Open Game License, to make it. Now, it's their own world. It's completely unique world. In fact, worlds, because there's more than just the main one, Galorion or whatever it's called.
Mhm.
And then they also used it to make Starfinder, which is a space version of it. It's basically D&D in space. But they used all the rules and mechanics and even the nomenclature for the different skills and classes and stuff.
Mhm.
And they even carried over certain classes that weren't generic. In other words, weren't a universal fighter or ranger or wizard. And one of them that they carried over was this thing called a dragon adept.
A dragon adept.
Dragon adept. Basically, they're kind of people that kind of worship dragons, and through magical means, they turn themselves into a dragon over time. Not necessarily permanently. Usually it's sort of, they take on aspects, so you can grow claws and you can breathe fire and shit. And you can grow wings. So anyway, I always wanted to play one of those. Those are super fucking cool. But I had never gotten an opportunity to. And so during our Pathfinder game, which has been running for, I don't know, like 7 years or something.
Yeah.
The
same campaign?
Not the entire time, but we've been playing Pathfinder for that long.
Yeah.
So we play tested the second edition of Pathfinder.
Right.
And like participated in the actual legitimate playtesting, sending in like reports and stuff on how stuff went.
Yeah, no, I remember that. But I was just wondering if you were on the same campaign. And the reason I asked that is because like the last year and a half, your gameplays have been
few and far between.
I mean, you're still getting together with your other set of friends,
Yes.
and that's good. But at some point you kind of, I don't know, me personally, at some point I would want to throttle somebody and be like, listen, for the next 6 weeks, this is our game night.
Yeah.
And at least 2 hours is going to be spent on this motherfucking campaign because I've been on this fucking campaign for 7.2 years and I'm done. You know?
But yeah, like probably the last 3 or 4 years we've been playing the same campaign. But it's a long campaign and it's like a 3-part campaign that has
and when you guys do play, you don't always play the same campaign. You'll play different games, right?
occasionally. So our main game master, Marlon, he doesn't want to run every weekend, which is understandable because it's work. It's not, you don't just show up and say, okay, let's play and then start rolling some dice as a game
you have
master.
to put some forethought into it. You have to really, you have to set the scene. You have to know the flow. You have to know where you're going with your setting and with your story and all that.
And that's even if you are straight up running a module, which is what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go through and review, okay, because otherwise you'll be like wasting a bunch of time during the game figuring stuff out. And so you want to go through and review at some level what's going on, what kind of things the people that your group is going to encounter, hopefully at least during the game session.
I mean, I don't know. Somebody could have a wonky roll and be like, oh my God, you just got surprised with a necromancer with 9 heads. Oh my God.
Yeah. And our game group often does things ass backwards. And so
you have somebody one time just like they rolled and they were like, fuck it, I'm dead, bye, and like got bounced out? I think it might have been when Sean was still with you guys because you were like, and then this fucking dickhead, to spite Sean when Sean was a game master one time, like purposely rolled and was just like, I guess I'm dead, I'm out. And he didn't come back.
Yeah. That would probably be his girlfriend's little brother.
Probably.
Because he spent a bunch of time, and it's understandable, this happens a lot. When you're brand new to role-playing games,
right,
and you spend a whole bunch of time making character, because when you first start out especially, and with most games, some games are very simple, but with most games, you'll spend quite a bit of time, like hours, making a character. If not
days.
Yeah. Especially when you're brand new. And then you'll be like, okay, let's play. And so he showed up. We were already playing. And so his sister and some other people helped him to make a character. It took several hours. And when he finally got in to play, he died immediately. Yeah. Like we were playing Warhammer, and Warhammer, for those of you who don't know, is an extremely dangerous game. Yeah. Like you can get one-shotted by a mouse. It's not that extreme, but pretty close.
I think people get the idea that it's not a game for little children. It's a game for grown boys and girls.
And anyway, he got killed immediately, and he didn't even get to take a turn. Basically, he just got fucking one-shotted.
Yeah, but now is that because the character that he rapidly created, or is it because the game master was like, I'm gonna fuck with this?
No. It was just circumstances.
This happens.
I don't remember if he got hit with like a fireball, like he was in the radius of a fireball or something, but he got one-shotted. And so it wasn't intentional. It was highly unlikely, but it still happened. Right. And it wasn't, yeah. So Sean was just like, okay, just say that you made a new character and put the same character in there. He fucking got one-shotted again. And once again, completely random chance. Right. It was not intentional on Sean's part. And so, yeah, he got pissed off and fucking never played again.
And I think people who need to have extreme control of everything they play, probably Pathfinder, Dungeons and Dragons, Warhammer 40K, Warhammer Fantasy. I don't think those are games for them, because even though the probability, if you look at 100 scenarios and the probability of you're only going to run into 70 of them, it's those other 30s that'll fuck you up and is inevitably going to happen at some point.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter whether you're the game master or the player, because, you know,
I mean, you have told me that somebody as a game master is kind of particularly assholey about stuff. Yeah. I don't know a better way to say it. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm not talking about your friend, but redacted.
So anyway, going back to Paizo. So they created Pathfinder. once again, using the OGL. Recently, this was last year, I think it was. So 2024, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
The Paizo is owned by Hasbro, and Wizards of the Coast is owned by Hasbro. Paizo is its own independent company.
Okay.
And Hasbro has
Totally makes sense why they made the Warcraft movie. Anyways, go on.
Hasbro has some kind of shystery people in it as far as the CEO level, the head shed level. And I think it was at their behest that Wizards of the Coast did some kind of shady shit. One of the things that they did is they changed their OGL, which, okay, they can do that. But the new OGL explicitly said that all older, previously you could continue using the other OGLs and continue using the old fucking game system, whatever. They explicitly basically shut down the other OGL saying, okay, you can't use those anymore. And then on top of that, they put some wording in their new OGL that basically said, go ahead and create your game using our rules. It's ours. Your game is ours.
That is why I have an issue with why I don't want the podcast going on to a certain website, which I'm not going to name and give them a free shot, because it says the minute you put it there, put it out for there, they can take your podcast, they can rename it, they can reformat it, they can they can alter you, they can use your voice in any iteration you want. Fuck you. It's not yours. It's not your time. It's not your money. Fuck off.
Yeah.
There's anyways, excuse me.
So anyway, when they did that, a bunch of people got fucking obviously pissed.
Yeah.
And because, there's all these people that Dungeons and Dragons had a huge resurgence because it was dying.
Yeah.
When Wizards of the Coast bought it, it was dying. It was basically dead.
Right.
When they made the OGL, not only did they made a good game, but the OGL thing actually fucking massively pumped all kinds of creativity and fucking excitement into the whole fucking industry.
Yeah.
And it lifted everybody up.
Yeah.
So Dungeons and Dragons massively fucking profited off of this. But at the same time, what the people at Hasbro were probably seeing is that we actually created our biggest competitors.
Yeah.
Pathfinder is I'm not sure if it's the number one, but it's certainly not number 3. It's very high up there on popularity.
Right.
And the numbers of people that play it and whatnot. And Dungeons and Dragons was about to come out with their 6th edition. Although they're not calling it that, but it is a 6th edition. Go fuck yourself. You're not fucking lying to me again.
Yeah. You're so very special.
Back when they made 3.5, they're like, oh, it's just blah, blah, blah. You can still use... No, you're fucking re-releasing every fucking one of the books except for the ones that I want. And so as a result, you're overriding all this other stuff. I can't fucking continue to use this stuff unless I'm just playing by myself because everybody wants to play with a new shiny thing. Anyway, I'm not angry.
Here's the thing. I love the fact that you are in this moment. Like this is something a lot of people aren't going to understand. I'm actually super giddy on the inside and I'm trying really hard to control my jokes because I know how passionate you are about this. I know what great childhood memories it brings back for you. I understand how many good times and good laughs you've had with your gaming friends for it. And I'm like super happy to have you put it out in this forum because you never know. One of the D&D people on YouTube, they could hear a bit of this in a month or two now that we are officially on iHeartRadio. And thank you. And they could hear that passion and be like, he needs to come on and be a guest. And I would love that for you. I would love for you to be able to get on Discord and play with them or whatever. But it's so nice because up until this point, what people hear is very much our banter and us joking back and forth and cracking jokes. And they do hear we talk about pop culture stuff and this, that, and the other. But and obviously this is pop culture.
Yeah.
But it's something that has been around for 45 years. And there are some big name fucking celebrities who play this game. At least 40, if not 45.
It's like 51 years for Dungeons and Dragons.
I thought they started in the 80s, or is that just where the popularity rose?
No, they started in the early to mid 70s.
So, okay.
So it was like 70.
I know one of the biggest
74,
names out there. I know who's been playing for at least 40 years, and that's been Vin Diesel.
Yeah, yeah.
And, then, of course, you got Will Wheaton, and I don't know about the other people. I don't know about the other people, but I do know that I love hearing your passion about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, because, I was going to be real smart ass and be like, oh, I bet you're giving yourself some spank bank. That's right, you orc. I owned you today.
Any fucking way.
Anyways, but yeah, you're not angry at all.
Yeah.
So
So anyway,
WotC or anything.
and that also included a lot of the people they were trying to pull a Games Workshop, where they were trying to basically quash everything that wasn't produced by them.
Yeah.
And if it was adjacent to theirs, they would try to co-opt it.
Isn't that what they would call trying to monopolize the industry?
So no, it's not even close to a monopoly.
No, what Games Workshop tried to do.
No. So so what I'm talking about is anything with their name attached to it.
Yeah.
They were trying to monopolize on any of that, but they didn't have a monopoly in the gaming industry. I mean, they're the biggest by far,
Right.
as far as wargaming is concerned, not role-playing games, not even close. But as far as their bread and butter game style, which is miniature combat
Okay.
tabletop role war game, Jesus Christ.
Habada, 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 ha.
They're so far beyond everybody else that it's not even funny.
Like their shit don't stink at this point.
I mean, they're like $1 billion fucking company, and the others are lucky if they're in the
Well, and if the company's
above
been
$1
around for
million.
50 years, the original makers, and owners have more than made their money, and they're probably just like, I'm good.
I mean, back in the late 90s, I think it was, Games Workshop became a publicly traded company.
Right.
And so then stuff started changing. Before then, they were a fucking amazing company to deal with. I still love their products. They make really cool shit. And I love their settings and stuff, but was created years ago by people who no longer work there.
Yeah.
But, like, for instance, Sean ordered a Balrog from them. You know, the monster that killed fucking, what's his face? Gandalf.
Okay.
So they have the rights to making all the miniatures for Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
And so they came out with a Balrog miniature, which is fairly large, like 6 inches tall, something like that, which when compared to your normal human size miniature that is like 1 inch tall.
Right.
Like maybe 2 inches tall, something like that.
Yeah.
It's huge. And at the time that one was pewter or something along those lines.
So we're talking a couple $100.
No, it was like $60.
Oh, wow.
Something
That's
like that.
amazing.
Which is still fucking expensive, but yeah.
For 6 inches, that's not. Well, okay. What they don't get to see that I get to see is you said 6 inches. Now I know 6 inches, but you kind of went up to the 8-9 inch mark. So your man measuring is way different than other man measurings.
Anyway, so he orders this thing, and so you can still order the stuff,
right?
Even if you go into a shop, you can have them order or whatever. So he goes into a shop, he orders it, it comes in, he gets it. You take it home. He goes to assemble it. It's missing one of the wings, right? The big demon thing got fucking big ass wings. So he calls Games Workshop. Back in the day, you could just call them directly with any kind of complaint that you had about your miniatures, or whatever other product that you bought from them. They sell paint and fucking their own line of paints, their own line of modeling equipment and paintbrushes and all this stuff. Anyway, he calls them. And they're like, oh, we're sorry. We're going to send you a new miniature. He's like, I just want a wing. because you can get the parts.
Right.
They're like, no, we're going to send you a whole new miniature. So they sent him a whole nother ass miniature.
Right.
A whole nother $60 miniature. He didn't have to return it. He just got another one.
Uh-huh.
Now I'm sure that sort of scenario isn't going to happen. Also,
I was waiting for you to say, and then he saw the secondary charge on his credit card.
No. She just straight up sent it to him.
Yeah.
And they sent it directly to the house. He didn't have to go back to the game shop to get it or whatever.
Yeah.
Also, back in the day, they had this game. Actually, I think they've re-released it. Maybe not. Called Warhammer Quest.
Okay.
And which is a little dungeon crawler game.
Uh-huh.
You got the little miniatures, and then you have these random boards. You saw it because I went and made photocopies of them all, or digital copies of them.
Yeah.
All. And they stopped producing it for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And between Sean and I, we had all of the additional characters because the box set came with 4 characters.
Right.
And then there were additional characters of different types that you could play that you had to buy separately in these little singular box things that came with the miniature and all the rules and all the fiddly bits that came with the character to keep track of stuff.
Right.
Well, along the way, we both lost everything except for the miniatures.
Mm-hmm.
And so he called, once again, their fucking customer support, and they fucking emailed us the files for all of the stuff other than the miniature. So we had, and they did it for all of the fucking characters, not just the ones that we actually had.
Right.
That sort of thing would never fucking happen now.
No.
But yeah, they were a fantastic company until they became a publicly traded corporation.
Well, and and there's this thing. It's like it's this really weird thing. Like some things can be so great, and then they become this publicly traded company, and they go into the stock market or whatever, and everything's fine. And then you've got the fucking shareholders going, That's great. I made, for every dollar I invested, I made $1.30 more, but it could have been $1.50. And it's like, there is this thing where it's just like, there is necessity to earn money, to do what we need to do and save for a future, right?
Yeah.
And then there's just flat out fucking greed that ruins so much, because you've got these companies going, we really need this investment because there's a dip in the market, there's extra tariffs or whatever, and they need that money, and so then they have to compromise everything.
Yeah. And also, a lot of times it isn't the company as a whole, it's some subsection within the company.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they aren't necessarily thinking, okay, we're going to fuck the customer or whatever.
Yeah, that's never their intention.
They're thinking, okay, I need to do this to improve my bottom line or improve the company. A lot of times, It's
one of those things where it's unfortunate the way some things have turned out with some of the companies, because isn't that where you guys used to go and hang out quite a bit when we first started working together?
Oh, at the game store?
Yeah.
So there is a Games Workshop store around here.
Right.
We went over there
wasn't there like
occasionally.
3 of them at one time around here?
There used to be one in the mall and one in the next closest city's mall.
Okay.
But
I guess that was a WotC that was over by the big park.
No, that's a Games Workshop that's over there.
Yeah, but I thought it was gone now.
No, it's still there.
Is it?
They just changed their signage.
Okay, and I'm thinking
and it's not as obvious as what it was.
I'm thinking of another gaming company I'm thinking of the Matrix that distributed their products. So that's where my brain's getting confused, because I remember you guys going to the Matrix quite a bit when I first met you.
And then there was a WotC in the mall also. Actually, that's what was in the mall. There wasn't a Games Workshop in the mall. It was a WotC.
Right.
But originally, when WotC had its stores everywhere, Games Workshop stuff was sold there, and then WotC basically was like, we don't want anything other than our own products, so only Hasbro products. And so they got rid of it. It was a big section. They just basically dumped all that stuff.
Do you because I know this is going to be a little bit of a long section, because this is such a fantastic, and it's fine, don't worry about that. I am so joyous to see you happy. I mean, everybody else is probably turned off by now, because they're like, wait a minute, this isn't as funny. You know what? It's fucking funny to me. You guys can't fucking see it. Because
all this
the
nerd
passion,
shit.
the passion on your face, like them dirty sons of bitches. But I did want to ask you, because it does fall along the line of it. Did you guys notice more inquiries or a surge in people considering joining your game group or wanting to come in and observe, at least once Stranger Things came out in 2016?
So a lot of game groups are insular, I guess you would say. They're just a group of friends.
Right.
And so most game groups aren't out there seeking other
New members.
or even necessarily wanting new members. Like, our game group is kind of big.
Even though you guys don't all get together all the time. So
Yeah.
I remember at one point you guys were down to like 5 routine players.
Yeah. And like, one of our players, she really only plays maybe once a month.
Yeah.
And 2 of our players are kind of
It's okay. I know what you're talking. If y'all could just see his face, he's just doing, like, imagine moi doing a big eye roll.
They have a tendency to not show up a lot, although they do tell everybody when they're not going to show up.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't know. Knowing who this person is, sometimes I almost think it's a dramatic thing.
I don't know. They have depression and other issues, so...
I'm still dealing with my situational depression. You're dealing with your situational depression. And guess what? I still got on the elliptical today and I had to have damn near jogged on the thing to do what I did in the short time that I did. But I know that you appreciate them and like them as friends.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just one of this, like, I cannot wait for the day, like, when the financing falls into the right place and we can actually go on the road, because I am telling you now, Stacy in the Show Me State is going to love you. You guys are probably going to fist bump and high five. I definitely know Papa's going to really like you, because you two, I think you do remind me of him in a certain way, because you have jokes, you have this, but you're both smart in the same way. And he's not going to fucking bullshit you at the wrong time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I love it when you have something where it's just like, you're giving your friends the courtesy, or like, specifically a friend we know, somebody we know, and you're just giving them so much courtesy, because I can see it on your face. And you would never say any of it on mic, but off mic, we've had private discussions about stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, I can see it on your face, and I can see it on your face when you're talking about your game group. Like I appreciate my friends, but damn, motherfuckers, I'd actually like to play the game every once in a while. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And that particular friend was like, why don't you just fucking find new friends? I'm like, find a new game group is what he said. I'm like, these people are my friends, so I don't.
And there, you could find another group to join.
Yeah.
Because you could have multiplicities as a group.
I don't have fucking time for all that. There was a time when I had 3 separate game groups that I was part of.
Yeah.
And 2 of them met every fucking week.
Yeah.
Every Friday and every Saturday.
Yeah.
And then there was a third group that I would sometimes do on Sunday, I think it was.
Yeah.
And this other dude was like, hey man, why don't you come join my game group and we game on Sundays? And I'm like, I don't got time for that. And he looked at me so fucking offended. Like, I could have maybe said it in a better way.
Right.
And I wasn't meaning to be an asshole. It was
Right.
just like, I need at least one day to myself. I could do it every so often where I'd fucking be every fucking day I'd be doing something, but I need time.
That's the thing. Like, a lot of people don't understand. Like, you've admitted it, you've put it out there, which I think is funny, because I don't think you are so much as you think you are, but you've said, I'm an introvert.
Yes,
period.
I am definitely an introvert.
You're definitely an introvert. However, you're not so severe where you're so regimented and your schedule is so routine. I'm going to get up Sunday, and at 6:05 a.m., I am going to go to the shower. For 10 minutes, I'm going to scrub my body and masturbate, and then I will scrub my body again. And at 6:23, I will be out of that shower, and I will, you know what I mean? Like, you're not that regimented. You're just like...
Well, first of all, I have roommates, so I would never masturbate in the shower. That's fucking gross.
Well, I tell you what, you've had roommates that have.
I mean, that's that's their thing. I don't need to know that.
Well, you know what?
Thanks.
I didn't need to know that one of your roommates masturbated 6 to 8 times a day, but guess what? They told me anyways. And I'm like, hey, you get your fucking
I almost said his name.
do not, because I don't want him having a couple beers and come over here and going, now listen here. Because I actually don't know if he remembers where I live, but he remembers where you live.
I'm sure he does.
And I love him. I don't care. I love him. I adore him as a person, and I hope that he is finding his right path in life.
Yeah.
Anyways, yes, you are an introvert, but you're not so much. And I'll tell you how I know that you are becoming more of a balance between you're like intro neutral. You're not an extrovert, but you're not an extreme introvert. And you know how I know? Because you hug Miss Susan. You have personal conversations with Miss Susan. That is not something that 2 years ago you would do as much as you do. You don't like people touching you very often unless you like them, and it's depending on the situation. But she was very right. You're very much like a scared little kitty in that thing. So you will not know. And I don't think you'll know until maybe it's a day you need it. But sometimes when you just need a hug, because I think Miss Susan's a little bit of an introvert. And so this is one of her ways of reaching out, because we are people who love her and show her love and show her respect.
She's
and,
good people.
She really is. And we're getting ready to come up in October. It'll be Cancer Awareness Month. So I will definitely talk about her again, because she's a survivor. But so I don't look at you as like a complete introvert. I look at you more as introvert neutral. So you balance somewhere right in the middle to when you've had enough and you haven't had enough time to let your brain breathe on its own. Then you're just like very firm. Like, I need this day to myself. But you do pretty good with it, because like you pretty much take a day and a half between Sunday and Monday.
Yeah.
And that's cool. I mean, I get it. But anyways, that's not what we were trying to talk about. But I was curious, as you're talking about D&D and Pathfinder and Warhammer, if you felt there was any kind of a surge into the role-playing pen and paper game community, especially with, Stranger Things. They promote D&D. Is a Demigorgon a real thing?
I don't remember ever seeing a Demigorgon in the Dungeons and Dragons book monster manuals.
Right.
There might be one. I don't remember ever encountering one.
Yeah. Well, it's really fascinating, because it's just like either it's something that's truly in the D&D world, or the Duffer Brothers created it itself, and good on them, because they created a terrifying creature if they did.
Yeah. So going back to the OGL, because I wasn't done with that.
Right.
So Paizo,
and that's the open game license.
Yes. Pathfinder created, or Paizo created Pathfinder using the OGL. When WotC decided to create a new version of D&D after 5th edition, they did their shenanigans with their license.
Shenanigans.
And so Paizo was like, okay, fuck you guys. And so they went and they were already kind of doing this, but they went full on basically scrubbing everything that was Dungeons and Dragons from it, other than the most basic core mechanics.
Right.
In other words, you roll a d20 to make your checks. And so they went through and they scrubbed as much of it as they possibly could, removed all the fucking names of like classes and stuff like that,
right,
except for the very, very most basic things like
right,
fighter and fucking wizard. Those are still fighters and wizards. And
right,
clerics.
but those pre-existed before the Dungeons and Dragons world.
Exactly. So when they did that, they also went through and removed classes like the one that I was playing, because that is a very distinctly and obviously Dungeons and Dragons class. I mean, it might not be obvious to somebody who's never played any of these games,
right?
But it was definitely created by Dungeons and Dragons for Dungeons and Dragons.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it was a class that I've always wanted to play, like I said, and I was finally getting to play one. And we're on the last part of the adventure that we're doing.
Right.
And so we were so close. And basically, when we're done with this adventure, we're going to be done with these characters probably.
Right.
And so we were so close, and I was like, yes, I'm actually going to fucking complete an entire fucking campaign with this type of character. And then they switched it. And then because I wasn't doing the characters manually, in other words, writing them out by hand, there's some digital online programs that you can use. The program that we use is called Hero Lab. And it gets updated.
Oh no.
So it automatically got updated to the new edition, which then made it so that I couldn't access the abilities and progress the actual class.
Right.
And so I had to fucking kind of finagle it.
Yeah. And didn't it take you several hours?
It did. Mainly because I was trying to figure out, okay, this is that. And then fucking fix stuff.
Yeah.
Because like these programs will automatically tell you if there's errors in your build of your character. So if you have too many hit points or whatever, it will tell you don't have that many hit points, or it will automatically calculate things.
Yeah.
So like the hit points, it would probably just automatically calculate them. But if you're like, okay, so my dragon adept had the fucking intimidation skill. If that isn't available, that skill isn't available to the class that you're playing, and you have it checked, there will fucking be a red fucking error message on your fucking character before you go to complete it.
Yeah.
And the game master, usually, if they're using the same program, can have access to your character and can see, hey, there's errors on there. What are you doing?
Yeah, because obviously, game masters are going to be butthole. I don't know. Had you written the characters out, had you actually manually written them out, do you think anybody would have a problem with you still playing with that character?
No. And for one thing, they trust me.
Yeah.
Right?
Fools. You're all fools.
So
Jeremy.
They trust me. They trust me with my characters because I don't do nonsense.
No.
Because I'm like, I'm here to play the game and I'll play it correctly. That's fine. It's more fun that way usually. I mean, sometimes
because they become more challenging.
Yeah, a lot of times the weaknesses of your characters that you're playing become the most interesting part of the character.
Right.
Not always, but a lot of times.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I ended up changing the character and getting rid of the dragon adept, but I wanted to I made it even more difficult for myself because I used a third party thing, and that third party thing isn't in the fucking Hero Lab either.
Oh boy.
But it was really interesting.
Yeah.
And so I did it anyway.
Yeah.
Where basically there's a third party book that allows you to play actual dragons.
Right.
And so I'm currently playing an actual dragon. So basically what I did was,
isn't it green or is it gold?
It's neither. The original dragon adept, he was descendant of a gold dragon because he was a sorcerer.
See, I'm telling you, I remember stuff, but this is so much information that it confuses in there. But I knew I was right about something. Yeah.
And so he was a sorcerer, and I chose the gold dragon as my bloodline. Because when you're a sorcerer, you have the source of your power is your inheritance from some mythological creature.
Right.
It could be a hag, it could be a fucking demon or an angel or a dragon or some other things, fae or whatever.
Right.
And so I always liked the dragon, so I chose a dragon.
Right.
And that kind of dictates the type of spells that you get.
Right.
And it also dictates some of your other special abilities that you have. And it just so happened that because when the Dragon Adept became available, I had already made those choices, and I was like, yes, the Dragon Adept's available. And so anyway, what I did was I took some suboptimal choices just to make it so that the character worked,
right?
Considering the things that happened. So I made it so that my character could freely transform between being a humanoid and being a straight up dragon,
Right.
and that it could do this anytime. And whereas normally you wouldn't get that ability until much later. But in order for the same character to exist and for it to make sense that he was actually a dragon all along, he was just pretending to be this fucking dragon at it bullshit.
Right.
So I chose to be able to do that rather than have some other abilities that are really cool, just so that it made sense. And then when we sat down to play and I turned into a dragon for the first time and everybody was like, what the fuck? I'm like, oh yes, you guys all see a ripple go through the fucking world. And GM's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, remember, the edition just changed. And that's what fucking happened. And then I fucking warped into this thing. Anyway.
And you went, and I'm a fucking dragon.
I'm a fucking dragon, bitches. Although,
you know, it's just, it's so crazy because, you know, I mean, I have a sibling from what I recollect, and, you know, I'm sure I'll get a text if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that she had started playing Dungeons and Dragons many moons ago. And, so, you know, when you're a kid and you're a sibling, especially when there's 5 years age difference, if you have just the same thing with AC/DC, if somebody tells you, oh, you got to do this is cool, like, no, I'm not gonna do it, no, like, I can appreciate AC/DC now.
Yeah.
And I don't actually want to play Dungeons and Dragons, but I'd love to see it if it was actually going to be played live. You know what I mean? Because it's just like, I mean, there are times where, I mean, like I said, I have an ex who's just like, why don't you just say about going and play? And I'm like, you know, and we dealt with people and their assumptions for so many years. And I didn't need that on top of it.
Yeah.
You know, and it was just like, because I know me and I'm going to get pissed if I'm trying to get Dagda to teach me something and, you know, somebody else is going to want his attention. It's like, no, motherfucker, he's teaching me something. It's not the same as work.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you gotta fucking wait, bitch. You know what I mean? It's not the same. And I would love to see it. Like, I would love it if you guys record it, because I saw a little bit on the YouTube.
Yeah, there's a bunch of Let's Plays is what it's called.
You know, but it's like, but I don't know. The one I saw, and maybe I just picked the wrong person to just kind of see how it played out, seemed like, and you know me, and I will tell you this time and time again, just seemed like a smarmy motherfucker. I don't handle smarmy. I don't handle rude. I don't handle condescending. And even if people behave that way in front of me and they think that I'm like completely submissive to it and I didn't notice it, you're wrong. I do. I did and I do. And I keep it in my hate bank.
Yeah, I often notice things that people say or do, good or bad, because sometimes it's good also, and I just don't respond to it.
Yeah. I've seen you do that.
A lot of times when I just don't respond to something, it's either I don't have time for it right now.
Right.
Or even probably about half the time is one of those, like, I don't fucking care, or I don't have time for you, or whatever.
Yeah.
Or it's, I'm not sure exactly how to respond to this, so I'm just not going to respond at all.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I'll be like, what the fuck? In my head, but I'll just be like, okay, is what I look like. But I'm like, what the fuck? What am I even supposed to say to this?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, whatever.
I think I've seen every iteration of that, and not just because I've seen it happen to me. Because when I'm super stressed and I'm super upset, and I'm trying to like talk through it, it's like, to you, when you and I discuss it, it comes across from you that, like, first of all, Jen, you just need to breathe. And second of all, this isn't a permanent thing. This is temporary. And you need to remember that, or like whatever's going on. You're just very, very logical about it. But what's great is I've witnessed it when it's happened to other people. and like, because for most of mine hasn't been the, what the fuck did you just say to me? But I've actually seen it where it's happened at the shop and people have been saying things that weren't appropriate to me. And you've been like, yeah, okay. And you're going to fucking leave right now. No, it's not just because it was the level of stupidity. It had nothing to do with anything about us, other than it was just something completely that was very specifically, I'm talking about a time somebody was talking about doing mature audience only things with me, and very disrespectfully how they said it.
Yeah.
And and you just don't handle that very well. And it has nothing to do with me. It could have been the boss's daughter. It could have been another consumer in the it didn't matter. It was just how the approach was done, because that's not how you do.
Yeah.
And so I've seen that. I've seen you do that to our mutual friend. I've literally seen you do that to our mutual friend, where he's running his mouth about something. And again, I give him so much grace. I try to, because he's on the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
Him and I have discussed this, so I'm not divulging anything private, because I was part of the conversation.
Yeah.
He's definitely on the spectrum, and his OCD is way out of control sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
It was honestly, after his accident, it was actually under control quite a bit, because the doorknob and the stove thing, he didn't do so much. He didn't, you know what I mean? Like, he controlled it when we were around.
Or it might have been the drugs he was on too.
He only took drugs for 3 days, according to him.
Yeah.
But, we all know that's not, anyways. But I've seen it to where his mouth has kind of gotten away from him.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been at coffee, and his mouth has gotten away from him. And I've literally seen you snap. Like, wait, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? No, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, dude. And you get that look on your face. And it's not your look of quizzication, like that quizzical look. It's that look of, I'm going to kick your ass and fuck you up. What the fuck's your problem? And like, I've literally had I think I saw it like 2 or 3 different times. And I remember very distinctly moving back, and he looked at me like, and he's just like, and then you got up and you excused yourself. And I always felt 2 of the 3 times you excused yourself, because I think you felt how red your entire body was and you needed to walk away for a minute. And then the other time, I think it was like a legit bathroom thing, because he'd said something like, you had just come back from the bathroom, and he'd made some flippant remark about it. About like, well, maybe you should change your diet. Maybe, because of this, that, and the other, you should do what I do. And this is what you should like. It was like the 8th time in less than an hour. He said, you should only eat this and you should only eat that, or whatever.
Yeah.
And it just like hit you the wrong way. And I remember the 2 of the 3 times, the 2 of them, like I said, I think you just needed to walk away. But both times he looked at me, he's like, did I cross the line? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, you have to remember, do you like it when we tell you repeatedly over and over in this same conversation? He's like, well, but it's my OCD. No, it's not. It's you being a dictating asshole. I'm like, and that I feel that way. I will never not defend you. I will never not have your back unless you do something so vile and evil that it is just required. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel the same way about you to me. Like why? Like, talking about my buddy, wherever he goes, I want to go. Kind of, not really. I don't want to go with the bathroom with you.
Thank God.
Because I've already been in the bathroom behind you before, so no. Anyways, you're very passionate. Passion.
Yeah.
Much passion
for
the D&D world.
When it comes to watching stuff,
right,
there's plenty of D&D. And like, there was a series, I found a series of people playing Rifts, which is like my favorite role-playing game.
Right.
Well, it's my favorite role-playing game setting. The game itself is kind of
but
wonky,
you like the world, you like the setting.
I love that world. And so anyway, I found some people who had done a Let's Play series. The channel is called Welcome to the Party. Okay. And they had a bunch of other stuff, because that's what they did. They played games and recorded themselves playing games, basically. And anyway, they had a whole series of a Rifts campaign. And one of the most interesting things about it was there was 3 people in the group. There was like 2 of the players and the game master were all Rifts fans, so they had played the game before and whatnot. The other 3 or 4 people had never fucking played it at all, and it was very interesting watching them, like, because all of them had played other games, but they'd never played Rifts before.
Mhm.
And so watching them like react to how the game worked, and the crazy shit that's in the setting, because it's kind of over the top setting. It was very fun for me to watch them play, because it's been years and years since I've actually played Rifts.
Yeah. Well, didn't you say you're floating somewhere between 2 and 3 years of trying to finish out this campaign?
Yeah, I mean, this campaign is pretty long.
Yeah.
The current campaign that we've been playing, and it's 3 separate modules. We're on the third and last module.
Right.
It's
one of
called
the
the
things-
Abomination Vaults.
Well, one of the things they actually promote in pop culture is when they talk about these like different like role play game campaigns, is they're all like 10 to 15 hours. Is that's a gross misjudgment?
That's a fucking... I mean, our game group takes longer probably because we bullshit a lot.
Right.
And then also people consistently show up late for a game group, like half an hour, 2 hours
Right.
late. And then some people want to leave early.
So instead of having 3 solid hours of play, you might get an hour.
Yeah, and most game groups will play for at least 4 hours.
Yeah.
Um,
I remember back in the day when you had a game group on Friday, and it was like, you know, so we had to fill in on a Friday, and you were like, nope, I'm out at 2. I'm out. Nope. So, I mean, I remember, well, sorry, I wasn't trying to cut you off. I was like, it's been on more than one program where I've heard them talking about the campaigns are about 10 to 15 hours, but it seems
some of them are.
Right.
But usually when you're that short, it's usually a single module.
Right.
So it's a single, like, a campaign is usually several modules.
Right.
Each module is a small, like, part
Portion
of an
of it.
adventure. Yeah. And so you might, I don't know, go to the town and save the town from a goblin invasion.
Right.
And that could be one module.
Right.
But then finding out where the goblins are attacking from and why they're attacking, those are different modules. And altogether, it's a campaign.
Right. Okay. I have 3 things to say because I know we are running out of time. We're
Okay.
definitely running out of time. One, the look on your face when you said, "Ta-da, I'm a dragon." Literally, the song that played in my head is, "You can tell by the way I use my walk.
I'm a ladies' man. No
I'm
time
a
to talk.
ladies' dragon. Got no time to talk." First thing. Second thing is, as long as you're happy and enjoy it, who gives a shit if it takes 5 more years to finish the campaign, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really care. Although some people are getting tired of fucking playing this particular game.
Which makes sense, but you guys could run multiple campaigns at times. This month
Yeah.
you run this one, that one you run that one. But, you know, I mean, I mean, you're flexible no matter what.
Yeah, and like most of the time I'm down to do whatever.
But and in conjunction with that, I do think it's been about 7 years since you've ran a Rifts campaign, if not 8. It's probably been pretty close to that.
I personally have never ran a Rifts campaign.
Played.
Yeah, probably.
Oh my God, him and his fucking words. It was before COVID.
Yes, it was definitely before COVID.
And then last but not least, I have to do it because I'm going to fucking laugh because we have to wrap up.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope everybody, I always enjoy getting an education about stuff from you because it puts thoughts in my mind and stuff about like learning stuff. And then sometimes after you leave, as you saw, I took little notes here and there. Right. But I mean, that was just for like a whole different thing. But anyways, squirrel, last but not least, because I know we have to wrap this up today, and I promise you, we will talk about D&D more in a couple of episodes or whatever.
It's D&D virgins till the day we die.
That makes sense. But the one thing I can tell you about no matter what campaign you play, please remember I love you.
Okay.
I know where the sock goblin lives. Have a good night, everybody. Bye.
You dirty bitch. Later.
Okay, everybody. Thanks for stopping by to enjoy the conversation. please take a moment and comment, like, share again, and of course, subscribe. Be sure you find us on Facebook, Discord, and of course, Patreon. All right, bub, you ready to go?
Yeah.
All right. Till next time, y'all. Take care.
Later.
Bye.
Savages.